All right, so you just saw me take the Muller Keups. It's a racing work tray, or they call it the Uni tray or something along that line. But this is what I'm gonna use to assemble it, and it looks like all you need is a 17mm wrench and a 14mm wrench. Yeah. See, and then that's the model number EQ-350. And I think you might be able to find it at Uni. It's a fairly new product. I have something like this, but I forgot the brand, and it's currently disassembled in my garage. But the green on here definitely jumped out to me, and I definitely know that the quality of this brand is pretty good. So bear with me while I kind of put this together before the wife comes home and needs the parking spot. Try to get it assembled. But it comes, I mean, you saw the package. The package was somewhat beat up just from standard shipping stuff. You saw this vertical piece was wrapped, and it does have a nice cushion on there. That's something, the one that I had was missing, and I actually went to Home Depot and got one of those pipe insulating things and wrapped it around and zip tied it to it so I wouldn't bump into my car. So it's nice that this comes with it, and like you see, it has this really nice bright orange green. Really nice kind of T-handle locking nut here to keep this from sliding. The one I have is kind of like, there's so much play in here where when you like crank it down, it kind of forces it to tilt one direction. So hopefully this doesn't happen. Saw a small box that I opened up. Has the casters in it for it has two straight casters and two lock-in, and they're all like swivel, I guess. Yep, they're all swivel on some kind of ball bearing. I'll just take one of each. Gonna get it up close. So this is the lock-in caster up top here. Pretty nice, and the matching green, so attention to detail there. You can see the ball bearings in between there. It doesn't have a grease fit in or anything that I can see, but this is not gonna need a lot of weight. And then this one just swivels, so you have at least two lock-ins. And that's another thing that the one I have previously did not have lock-in casters. So like my garage slopes to the driveway, so well, most garages probably do just for drainage, but you know, this, if you want to lock it in place so it doesn't like roll into your car or something, that's a additional feature that's awesome to this. So for them, that's awesome. I'm loving it. Loving the color. And then you got this main frame at the bottom, really beefy. I'll say this thing is about 20 pounds. Pretty solid, like probably 1 inch or whatever, 2-inch frame or whatever you want to call this. Pretty nice design. You can see it. I mean, the painting and everything is all the way through, pretty uniform, no scratches, anything. Definitely professional. We got bags of hardware here, so hopefully they are all the same. Looks like they're all the same, so hope I don't need to follow the instructions too bad. And then this is the tray. This is unique. So here's a tray. Here's the back side of it. Nice support across. You got some screwdriver or pry bars or whatever you want to put in these holders. Some kind of cushion on here on the top. And I just noticed when I picked it up, this was coming apart. Yeah, so this is like a, if I can show you, this is like a plastic tray, and so that small piece right there is going to bolt into here. It's just going to bolt onto here, just like it's going to bolt onto this side, just like this side is already bolted on. So it's going to keep this plastic tray in place. But yeah, it's a plastic tray. You can hear it, but it's going to get bolted on, and it will stay in place. So try not to break it when you're picking it up for the first time. So And then kind of failed to show it, but you got like 3 little storage areas right here, and then the large main area with these kind of elevated grooves that span the length of it. Probably about an inch deep. So pretty nice, pretty hefty, pretty sturdy. Again, this is about 20 pounds, so we're gonna get this thing assembled, and then we're gonna go from there. So pretty excited. Bear with me for this video. I'm gonna put the casters on first. Let's see. I'm not sure where it. I suspect it wants us to put the casters on. Looks like the locking casters are in the back on this portion right here. Cool. So we'll just get these assembled. I got my little water-free SAE and metric set and a 3/8 ratchet. So this should make it go by pretty fast. I'm sorry, I don't typically edit videos, so if you need to speed ahead to where you can see the video being completed, by all means, I just do it, make it happen, and I don't really edit anything. So what you see is what you get. I just briefly mentioned that if you need to save time. So basically, it just comes with a washer and a locking nut here. Just get that on there. And if I was supposed to guess, this is going to be the 17. So we'll try to put this. Doesn't have to be crazy tight. Just need to snug it up a little bit. And this one, I don't really like how it's on there. The washer is kind of offset. And I'll tighten up all the bolts when I'm done off camera, so I'm not wasting all anyone's time really. Keep hearing me blow on them is because when they package it, they put it in a plastic bag and then they just thread a nut on it so it gets caught up in the plastic. So that's why I'm blowing out the little piece of plastic. So this thing, it's probably not the cheapest one available, but I can tell you that it's probably going to be one of the best quality ones available just by looking at it without even using it. And this is good for the people that have a small garage, or not necessarily a small garage, but a garage and don't necessarily need a roll cart. They have a toolbox like I do. And they just need to be able to put a couple tools on stuff. If they're working in their engine bay or something, something like this will do just fine. But I can tell you, this is quality stuff. Give it the beans there, roll it for a little bit, see how it feels. I mean, you can see how this thing rolls really nicely. really nice. I can tell it has a wide platform, wide base. You know, it's pretty wide there, and then just to lock it. There you go. Yeah. So we'll just lock this in place. And build the rest of it. Make sure it's still in view. Saw me locking it there with my hand, but just press down on it with your foot. Locks in place, and then to unlock it, you just pretty much press the top of it. Should be. You might just have to get down there with your hand and unlock it, but as you can see, it's not really gonna move. I mean, the front will might swivel, but it's technically not gonna roll on you. So this one, and I'll kind of flip it around. Flipperoni. This one is like notched out right there. You can't really see it, but the shape of this bottom portion pretty much is kind of like angled. It pretty much perfectly matches in there. You can't get it wrong. And basically, the little locking mechanism is going to be like on the outside of the tray, so that's pretty self-explanatory. So we'll get that popped in here. See what kind of hardware we have. I might need a screwdriver. Break out my vessel screwdriver. So we'll put all this on the floor. And I'm pretty sure, based on these, I'm confident that we're going to use these 4. Yep. And this is going to be your 14 mil with a locked washer beneath. I'm not sure if I'm using the washers in the correct spot as far as where I should be putting them. Let's see real quick, because there's some regular washers and some lock washers. I mean, it really doesn't matter, I don't think. Yeah, that threads in nicely. Maybe I'll just flip this over. Come on. A lot of guys will put the time and effort into editing videos. I really don't have that time to sacrifice, but I do enjoy showing you guys different tools that I have acquired, and hopefully it'll be something that you might see and you might need. Help out with your buying decision. I do like quality tools. But at the same time, I don't chase the expensive stuff. So yeah, and like I said, I'll get these tightened up. In fact, I should just do that right now. Let's just grab the 14 millimeter, put it on the ratchet, and just give it a little zip. Since it's beneath there, and I don't want to have to like flip this thing over when it's like fully assembled. I'm wondering if I already scratched it on the paint. if that was just yeah, that was probably just from shipping shipping metal parts. And this thing is looking beautiful already. I mean, I don't know if you can see it. "20 minutes in. Sorry about the long video, but we'll get it done. Next up, pretty sure we'll just assemble the little top here. So this might be a little bit tricky. Okay, so it looks like it has some threads built into it already. I'm not sure if I used the wrong bolts, to be honest. I might have used the wrong ones. Nope, got the correct ones. So I was like, really, like, damn, I used the wrong ones to assemble that portion of it, but I did not. So we'll I will say this portion, it might be beneficial to have a second person, but again, I mean, as you can see, I'm able to thread the bolt in there. It just threads in. You don't need a nut or anything. It literally, the bolt just threads in under here. Sorry, I can't show that, but it just literally threads up in there without a hitch. And in fact, I forgot, I'm gonna have a lot of extra washers and stuff. So these ones, I'm gonna put a lock-in washer on just because it doesn't have a nut. Damn it. That one is too tight. Yeah, so I was saying it might help to have a second person to hold it in place or something, but I would say not required. The top is not that heavy, and it doesn't take that much maneuvering to hold it in place and get one bolt in place, and then we're pretty much set. Alright, that one is giving me a little bit of trouble. Alright, because I need to shift some stuff. There we go. Shift it left, shift it right. Wiggle it and it fits. So I have a feeling I'm gonna have some spare parts or some spare washers when I'm done here. Looks like I might have extra, but we shall see. And then theory, the only thing I have remaining, start putting some tools up here. Put my knife, put my ratchet, my 17mm, throw it in that tray, and I'll just pick up the nuts and bolts down here. I got two. Not sure if they just gave me extra washers or might have missed the installation process or messed it up a little bit there, but whatever. So we'll put our washers up here. Perfect. Our manual will just set it up here. This piece right here, put some trash over there. Just make sure this thing is still in frame a little bit. So we'll just wheel it over. Or sorry, lift it up until it's in frame. There we go. Just gonna. So last thing I got to put on is this piece, pretty much the equivalent of this. Just trying to see. Can't really see any washers on there, but it looks like just the nuts are in there already and it's just threaded in. So this is where I need a screwdriver. I have a million screwdrivers, but I always reach for this one. This vessel Impacta, I believe this is a number 3. Should be PH3. Yeah, right there. Can't really see it. Anyway, trust that it is, but I always reach for this one. It's my favorite screwdriver. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get it in here. I'm sure that's what I'm doing. Maybe. Yeah. So if you try to put it from this side, it's not going to work. So you got to fish it from this side, and then kind of align it to hold, and then put your screwdriver from all the way back here. Get it on the head, and there she goes. So I do like the fact that they have the nuts already like built in or threaded in already. So this process was pretty easy. I mean, I'm doing it straight from unboxing, and it's gonna take me, you know, just over 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And that's while I'm talking. So I think I'm happy with that. I have quite a few washers. I got 3 lock-in washers, and actually 4. I got 4 of each. So I think I just need to double up wherever I put the washers, top and bottom. So too easy. So we'll put that right there. This is obviously not fully secure because I did not tighten down these 14 millimeters. So it's kind of still wobbly. There we go. There you go. Your cart is fully assembled. We'll take off the locks. There. We'll roll it down to the garage door right there. We'll spin the camera around just for grins. We'll pop this up, and there she goes in all her glory. I'll try to pan out some just so I can kind of manipulate it just so you can see. So I basically used the tools that the only thing that I needed was a Phillips number 3, a 14 and a 17 socket. These are deep chromes, and had a knife to open the box, whatever. That's all you need to assemble this. It has some instructions on here. Obviously I didn't pay attention to them. A couple things. You got a couple, let's see if I can focus here. You got a couple numbers for dimensions right here. See, there we go. Not the best focus. And you got a parts breakdown list. Yeah, do not exceed 100 pounds for the capacity. So, pretty nice. like I said, the base is pretty nice. This thing rolls like a champ. You have these, this portion has a rubber overmold on it, and then like I've showed you, this inner piece has the metal has a part of plastic. You know, much like those plastics that wrenches and stuff be coming in, the ones that kind of rip, except this one is more heavy duty. I can feel on the edge. It's definitely way more heavy duty. You got these three little center sections here, and in fact, my screwdriver here, the length of it, see if this thing went back into focus. Nope, it was not in focus. There we go, talking. So, yeah, here's the rubber on the edges. You got the rubber on the edges right here. You can see me flicking them up. You got screwdriver holder right here. I would say all but two can fit a screwdriver. The center two are for pry bars because they're bigger. In fact, I'll take the camera off the tripod and get you closer. Let's go. Let's do it. So here's that rubber piece right here, and it's kind of held in place by some kind of plastic rivet type stuff. So it's not going anywhere. This is what I was saying. You got pretty much all these holes for like whatever. These center ones, it's just too big for, well, it actually fits in there, but it goes down lower. And then it's the same thing on this side as far as the rubber. Here's the plastic that I was showing you earlier, but it's pretty neat. And I was saying this center section right here is big enough for a screwdriver. And I can throw my sockets in there. I got my leftover parts there because we all assemble stuff and don't read manuals. But I can throw my knife in there. Then my ratchet stays here. You know, maybe the manual that I'm working on my car stays right there. Parts or whatever. Really nice. Here's the part number again. Here's that swivel caster. There you go, nice green finish on it in the center. Lock it down. And then these ones aren't locking at all. So the only thing I did was, you know, put a washer on there, a nut, a washer and nut, and then these right here, bolts are in there, and then a nut, a washer and nut on that side. And then, you know, same for right here. But that's pretty much all the assembly. And then a Phillips head screw onto, actually it's the opposite side, but it's the same thing. It came disassembled. But pretty nice, pretty solid. I really like this compared to the one I have currently. This is way better. One thing I haven't showed you is the height adjustment. So I'm gonna put this back on the tripod, and then I'm gonna adjust the height since I can't do it with one hand. Make sure we're in focus. There we are. So something I wish that these things had was like a foot crank, because if this thing is loaded up and you need to adjust it, you know, it's going to be pretty difficult. So I kind of wish it did have some kind of, you know, foot pump. Maybe that's something I can use, you know, like design, maybe. So this just counterclockwise, and this thing should just slide up. So it looks like it has a stopper in there, so it's not going to allow it to slide out on you, which is good, because you don't want this thing to, you don't want to be pulling on this thing and then it goes flying forward with everything in there, and then you're able to crank this down. Just make sure it's locked in place so it doesn't go sliding down what you can't see is this center groove, that whatever this pin is, it kind of just locks in this center groove. But pretty tall. Let's see if it's still in view up top. Grab a tape measure real quick. I know online they have the dimensions, actually. Overall height. So this height should be 48 and 3/7, and then the low side is 35 and 5/6. Yep, about right. It's about 49. It's about 49, and then if we just measure approximate down here, yeah, I would say it's about 34, 33 on the low side. But I mean, this is plenty tall. Yeah, this is solid. I would say if you're gonna go for a one of these mobile shop trays, garage trays, whatever, and then the base of here, let's see, because you know you might push this up to around your tires or something from the side. It's a whopping, on the inside, let's go inside since this is the closest, it's a whopping, I would say 23 inches wide. So 23 inches wide from the inside of here to here. And then as far as how deep it is, it's I would say it's another 22 inches deep. So pretty solid overall. I would give this a I was gonna say A+, but I'm gonna say an A, because if this had a foot crank on it where you could crank it up, like I said, if this was weighted down with a full, you know, I believe that they advertise as 80 pounds, but it says do not exceed 100 pounds. But if this was weighted down with 100 pounds, this might be challenging to manipulate. You'd have to like crank it slowly and allow it to like slide down under its own weight. But then you run the risk of like just tearing up the mechanism in here, or you run the risk of, like, you know, pinching yourself as you're trying to prevent it from go down. So it's definitely an A+ for the current thought process behind the design of these items. And then having the cushion right here, man, that's money. Like I said, the one I have, I actually put the thing around it and zip tied it, so if I push it up against my car, you know, it would not scratch it or anything. Also, that one did not have locking casters, so that's a plus. And then the green, you know, Muller Keups, it's pretty nice. So again, this is the EQ-350 racing Worktable, or the Uni-Table, whatever you might find that. It's definitely a new product, and then it's gonna run around $200 or something, but definitely well worth it in my eyes. Anyway, this video has gotten out of control in terms of how long it is, but just wanted to give you a positive feedback on this thing. And like me always say, like on, don't hit the thing.